What was the unga? Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today I am going to be reacting to Marcelito Pomoy singing The Prayer. Let's get into it.
Wish 1075.
I pray you'll be alright and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. This be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace to a place where we'll be safe.
La luce che tu dai,
I pray you will find your light
nel cuore resterà,
and hold within our heart
a ricordarci che
the stars go out each night.
eterna stella sei. Nella mia preghiera,
Let this be our prayer
quanta fede c'è,
when shadows fill our day.
lead us to a place.
Guide us with your grace.
So I just wanted to stop it there because I've noticed the first time he has this little like like onset into his sound. I think that might just be because of a language thing. So I actually learned something from my KZ React, like, I don't know, ages ago. I learned something. The Philippines is the 5th largest English-speaking population in the world. That's crazy. Australia doesn't even make the top 10. So I feel like in this situation, it might just be the speaking habits of one language lending themselves into the speaking habits of a different language, and just no one's tidied it up for him. He hasn't worked with anyone who's just gone, yeah, my articulation on this, maybe we need to tidy that just a tiny bit. It's not a deal breaker. Anyway, while I'm here, I may as well talk about something cool that I heard earlier. I mean, apart from the fact that he can sing with 2 voices, which is really cool. That's awesome. In the beginning, there was some resonance intonation things happening where the resonance was becoming quite buzzy at times. But then the moment he was able to connect to that first register, the things that I was hearing in the beginning from the second register just disappeared. He sorted them out. He connected it up, which is awesome. And I find that really interesting because in the beginning, he's just got to stay in one voice for a prolonged period of time. But things sort them out when he suddenly has to be switching like a crazy person. That's... How does the harder part of your song... Why is that the easier part for you? Anyway, I thought that was really cool that something that could have been a persistent issue in the beginning just became nothing. He like sorted it. That's pretty cool. Anyway, this guy must be great at pulling pranks as well. Could you imagine a voice like this on The Masked Singer? He just starts singing with a thing on, no one knows that it's him. People are like, oh, she's got a lovely voice, and then suddenly the voice drops. Sorry, my sense of humor is a bit weird. Anyways, this is cool. Let's keep going.
give us faith so we'll be saved. Sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza, e un mondo di giustizia, di speranza. Ognuno dia la mano a sua vicina, simbolo di pace, di fraternità. La forza che ci dà the ocean in waters from above. Would you not trovi amore? We hope it's so we'll find intorno dentro sé another soul to love. Let this be our prayer. Let this be our prayer. Just like every child, just like every child, need to find a place, guide us with your prayer.
It wasn't there. What was the unga? Unga. What happened? Was before just an accident? Maybe.
Guide us with your prayers. Give us faith so we'll be safe. Il a fait que I just saw it. Sento che ci
Wish exclusive on Wish.
That's really cool. I don't think he's had any classical training. No, before you come for me, that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I'll tell you why. So I feel like he sings with a contemporary larynx probably because he has to do so many flips between his registration, and for your second register, you don't want the larynx to be high all the time, but for that particular sound quality that he's going for, which is an imitation of Celine Dion, she's a contemporary singer, so it would make sense for his larynx to not want to have to drop up, drop up, drop up all the time. But if we listen to how he approaches this part, this bit here, you can literally hear the larynx lifting up for that high note. Now, if you listen to the Andrea Bocelli version or a classical singer try and do that, when they hit their high notes, they don't do it by lifting the larynx. So they create space. Sometimes with classical singing, you might hear high notes referred to as tall notes because that's how they feel in the back of the mouth. So they feel like there's some height to them, some tallness to them. But let's listen to that again. Yeah, so he's singing it with a contemporary setup. Nothing wrong with that. If you listen to the Andrea Bocelli version, you'll hear that there's more space, less push with his. But I mean, this guy's flipping between two voices. Something's got to give. And sure, there are artists out there who can, change between their voices with their laryngeal position also changing. But often they're going to be the ones that have also had in-depth classical training. And I mean, he's doing a fantastic job of this song, but there are certain elements in a classical singer that are missing from this performance. And one of them is how he's approaching his vowels and where his resonance is sitting. It does not mean that this is not a beautiful voice, though. His low stuff when it came in was fantastic. And his ability to switch between the two, like I said before, how is the harder part of the song easier for him? There might be some benefits to his long-term performance if he did want to go and get some of that classical training just to alleviate some of the tension if he was to imitate, say, a classical singer in the future. But that's up to him. He doesn't need to be told what to do in this instance. And he's doing it fine the way it is. So not a big deal. And also, I relate to that because I studied classical for 8 years, but I started singing contemporary with a lot more frequency in the last 2 years that I studied. And my singing teacher used to get so mad at me for using a contemporary laryngeal setup in my classical songs. And that's because I just didn't know the difference. At that point, I'd been a trained classical singer, but I wasn't a trained contemporary singer. So I didn't know how to switch one on and off. An example of someone who can do this is Dimash. I mentioned that in the Sinful Passion React. His larynx shifts depending on what style that he wants, and that's about familiarity. You can't fault someone for not doing it if they just don't know. Anyway, I feel like it's unique to hear artists doing that with more popular music. I mean, in places like China, there's a whole opera category of men singing with a female voice. But I feel like for pop music, there's not as many people that are doing this, singing with the female voice and singing with the male voice, and it's sounding like a cohesive performance. So that's really, really cool. I really enjoyed this. Anyways, that is it from me today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed that. If you did, give this video a like, click that subscribe button and the notification bell beside it. As usual, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Justitianes era